Hi, this is Josh Davis with llsocial.com, and today I'm excited to have Gary Flake with us, the CEO and founder of Clipboard, and we're going to talk a little bit about what Clipboard is, some use cases, and maybe hear a little bit about the marketing side. So Gary, thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to hear more about Clipboard.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Can you just briefly describe what Clipboard is for those who aren't familiar with it?
Yeah, so Clipboard is simply the easiest way to save anything from the web that you want to be able to access from multiple places. So if you think about the typical workflow where maybe you're browsing the web, you highlight something, you hit Control-C, you open up a Word document or an email client, and you paste into it. That awkward process is for many years has been how I and a lot of other people have been saving stuff that you find on the web. You can also bookmark or take screen grabs or something like that. What Clipboard is it's a way of saving stuff that is almost better than anything that you can come up with on every dimension. So it looks like the original source. The hyperlinks still work. It retains much of the functionality. So typically videos and flash embeds will play. So it's basically just a highly functional way of capturing part of the web.
Okay, when your people are using it now, I don't know if you guys use surveys or if you could just look at the overall, the way people are using it. Who are you seeing use it most, and how are you seeing them use it? Like, what are some example use cases that are popular?
So there's some use cases that are visible that we can tease out from just looking at what public clips are out there. And then there's also some use cases that you can only know about if you talk to people. And so we have a little bit of insight on both fronts. On the public side, people are doing things that you would expect. They're clipping everything from funny videos to funny images to products that they like. So there's the typical use case of just here are visual things or articles that I like that I want to share. Another public use case that I think is pretty interesting is that there's actually a pretty strong contingent of developers, web developers that are on the site that are clipping code fragments, answers from Stack Overflow, project descriptions from GitHub, other things of a technical nature, and using it as a place to kind of share some of their best practices. A third thing that we see in the sort of public arena is basically people just organizing around typical themes that they have passion around, where the idea of just grabbing an image just isn't enough. So for example, if you're really into recipes, if you're really into cooking, an image of the dish just isn't really enough. You need ingredients, you need cooking instructions, and you want to be able to search over those things. So we see lots of people clipping recipes or other things that are kind of topically themed like that. But I think recipes is a really strong example. Privately, this is where it gets a little bit murky because we absolutely respect people's privacy. We treat a clip that is private, and our clips default to private as if it's as personal as email. Someone might have a bank statement, someone might have medical records there, and we absolutely do, treat that as really sacred. However, we do observe ourselves. We talk to friends, we talk to family, and we occasionally contact users to find out what they like and what they don't like. And there's been a lot of really interesting use cases that you'd never know about without talking about people. So, for example, some people are using it for coordinating big decisions. All right, so let's say you're buying a house. This is something that could take months or years to sort of research. And when you're doing this, you're looking at listings from, say, Zillow and Redfin. You're looking at maps. You're reading things about school districts. You might be thinking about the services that you need to hire when you do it. You might take a snapshot of a mortgage calculator. You might be clipping things from mortgage interest rates. So there's all sorts of things that go into making a big decision that you just need to pull together in one place. Where we really shine, I think, compared to other services that are normally trying to solve the same thing, is that our clips can be easily shared on a one-to-one basis within the system itself. So, as an example, my wife and I are both users of the system, and when we're coordinating a big decision like that, I make an @ mention in the annotation to her, and then it appears in our shared space. So that becomes the basis of a lot of really interesting ad hoc and dynamic collaboration. So there are things that couples are doing together, like coordinating purchases, planning trips. I'm going on a trip next week, and I take all of my trip information, I clip it, and then I also save it with my wife so she can see where the hotel is and where my, and what my flight is. Other interesting things, teams are actually using it to clip things related about what they do, and everything from like saving back, sharing best practices. So our own team here, we frequently are looking for like new libraries, new best practices, new ways of building things or deploying things, and just taking those little insights and then sharing with the team is another interesting thing. You can extend this to almost any other domain. So thinking about if you're a recruiter, clipping profiles from LinkedIn or personal blog pages. If you are a marketer, clipping competitive analysis about other websites. If you're an attorney, clipping things about prior art. There's all sorts of really kind of private use cases that are starting to blossom.
Right. I know when I got into it, I kind of came from Pinterest. I had a background in pretty much organizing everything in Evernote, but I found when I used Clipboard, I was better able to organize many more types of formats like PDFs and decks.
And SlideShare, yeah, you can grab a slide presentation. You can grab a PDF. It's really funny. The PDFs work best in Chrome because it has sort of like a built-in PDF viewer, and it just kind of works there.
Right.
You can also grab Google Docs. So you can grab like a section of a spreadsheet on a Google Doc, or part of a nominally with a Word document on Google Docs. So yeah, it works well in that regard.